Welcome back. Hi, my name is Chip, and this is my channel. What I do every week is I just kind of share how I've been able to stay sober and how I will continue to stay sober for 12 months. It's been kind of hard, especially in the beginning, because everybody, a lot of people know I kind of made some major changes in the beginning of this whole process, but things are smoothing out, and I'm getting a little clarity, so I kind of like that. Today, I, in the beginning, wanted to just kind of wing it and just say anything that comes off the top of my head. So I've already deleted one video because I want to make sure that I'm actually clear about what I'm talking about. So that's the idea. This has been a crazy week. A lot of stuff has changed. I actually started a blog page, which is actually good. I mean, I totally am for anybody who needs to find a way of expressing themselves. I think that a lot of the problems that we have collectively is because there's really no way to kind of tell it, to get it out, to share it. And however means you do that, that's great. I mean, of course, there's probably going to, at some point, there's going to be something that they're going to write about me that I don't particularly like. But you know what? I don't care. I don't. It's not really about me. It's that the feelings that I have at that moment. And for anybody, when you share, this is just how you are right now at that very moment. So I am all for it. I do feel like, I know last week I'd mentioned that I wanted to get, in my world they call it a sponsor, and the person that I had been working with before, I don't know, a red light keeps coming up, and I'm not sure. The guy is, he's amazing. He shares from truth, he shares from his experience, and he gives me things that I believe are from his heart. He doesn't intentionally want to hurt me, but I feel uncomfortable every time I leave him, and I'm not quite sure why, but I don't got a whole lot of time to worry about it. So I don't know. This week I want to do it. I want to actually make some calls today and get that zipped up. The other issue probably is because I've never done like all 12 steps before, ever. I've gone up to 4 and 5, but the idea is to do all 12 during this next 12 months, to see that process as well. I'm for growth at this point. I'm for making a major change, and that if that means doing something that I don't want to do, to be able to be somebody that I'm actually proud of. And you know what actually is just kind of weird is my parents keep coming up during this process. And my mom and my dad, they're both deceased. So it's like, why do I still want my dad to be proud of me, even at death? I don't know. But that comes up. So we'll see. This week I'm in a sober living, and there's like a few guys in there, and just crazy stuff. We actually pulled up 2 Girls in a Cup and Mr. Hand's video that originally was on YouTube that exploded, and I say that to say that this journey doesn't have to be all about like digging and finding who you are and being uncomfortable with it and shedding that pain, and a lot of it needs to be fun. I'm completely out of my mind, and I want people around me that are completely out of their mind. Not necessarily chemically imbalanced wise, but I want to have fun. I want to feel like I'm actually living this life, having some experiences that I can appreciate and pass and pass on. So that was the idea of, pulling up the videos and looking at them and being totally grossed out. But you know what? Who cares? It's a once in a lifetime experience. I'm pretty. I meditated all week, and with this new found pearl of wisdom, Louise Hayes, she is amazing because it really does all come from how I think and where I go with those thoughts and what I do with those thoughts and what happens after I have done something with those thoughts. And I'm really happy that this process doesn't have to always be so bumpy. There's periods of peace, and that ultimately is what I want. I want to have some peace in my life, and I think the process has begun. So what I'm going to do next week is share my true sobriety date. I haven't really said anything about it, and I've been going back and forth whether or not it's important. Do I really want to count days? Do I want to collect chips? I think for the purpose of the video that it is just kind of see where I'm at during different periods of this year. So I'm actually going to start counting days just so you guys can see if there's any clarity at 4 months or 6 months or 9 months or a year or whatever, as opposed to 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So we'll do that next week and be able to track really for my purpose as well as yours whether or not there's growth with abstaining from drugs and alcohol. Now, granted, there has to be some work on my part. I got to do some stuff. I can't just not drink. I can't just not do drugs because I'm left with not only my own devices, but also with my old thinking, because that doesn't really change. So the idea is to create something where I can foster new ideas and create a life that I'm comfortable with. Make some changes in my thinking, which produces a new life. So until next week, I'll see you on the blog. All right? Talk to you later. Bye.